Welcome. With the hair. So Seer and Higher Self, Part 22, The Identity Theft Decree. Chapter 10, let's start writing. Get your piece of paper, your blank piece of paper, hopefully, and a pen. We're not going to type it. We're going to write it. It really embodies the experience, writing it with your hand. Okay, so we can start writing. I, and then your full name. So it'd be like I, Elaine Arsons. So I, your full name. Your birth date, your day, month, year, your place of birth, time of birth, if you know it, or you can do like an approximate. City, town, state, province, and country. Good. In full source sovereignty, source, S-O-U-R-C-E, sovereignty, S-O-V-E-R-E-I-G-N-T-Y. It's a word that we don't use very often. Have something to drink. Can feel a bit tense, but I'll just repeat. I, full name, birth date, place of birth, time of birth, city, town, state, province, country, in full source sovereignty, and with the witnessed authority of only source aligned, source, S-O-U-R-C-E, and then aligned, A-L-I-G-N-E-D. And now we're going to list the team. I call them the team. So the ones that came forward for you. But if it's just you, your higher self, and source, like you, your higher self, only source aligned, and source, that's enough. Right? We don't need any guides beyond that. But I found that with different decrees, there's different guides that have step forward, and they are only source aligned. So I do test. And the ones that are source aligned, they don't mind being tested. The ones that are not source aligned, when I test them, they do not like being tested. They have a bit of a temper tantrum. So, or they're always like, what? Well, it's not a big deal. Like, I can be here. And it's like, no, you can't. So, it can be, any examples, like, like for me, the guides that have stepped forward, and my main guide that has stepped forward my whole life has been Yeshua, Jesus from the crucifixion timeline. And I was like very resistant, and I would only call on him if I was like almost going to die. Because he was so claimed by religion. And then I was really horrified with the crucifixion, like actual way that they killed people in that timeline. That I was horrified, and it was really difficult for me to see that. But anyway, so I always say Yeshua, only source aligned, and then Miriam, Mother Mary. So Yeshua's mother in that timeline, in the crucifixion timeline. So Mother Mary, so Miriam, M-A-R-I-A-M. So Mar, I am, right? Buddha, Ganesha comes forward as well, only source aligned. Archangel Michael, always, he comes in and he clears cords all the time, but I always say only source aligned. And then, whoever comes forward for you, it can be the whales, the dolphins, the eagles came forward and helped me a lot from 2020 to 2023. And the trees, the sun, new earth, you can name. In the Egyptian expression, who enacted Priestess Maat, M-A-A-T, which was the heart on one side of the scale and the feather on the other. And then we have to basically go through those stages of awakening, but our hearts need to be balanced and cleared. So in order to anchor in 5D consciousness. So and then I just write no sneaky snakes. And then this home is sealed in Source's name. I hereby declare, issue, and ask for only Source justice and Source mercy for the identity theft decree, internally and externally, in all time, space, dimensions, under the law of grace, under the law of one. All are expelled from my field, and all interference and theft are all recorded in the records. And if there's any words that you don't resonate with, you can always, use the words that resonate for you. But if there are some that I'm using, and I've seen them come up in people's sessions and come up for me, and then just ask yourself why. And, because sometimes when it is something that actually is very powerful, I've had clients receive bribes like, oh, don't say that. And then they're like, they're seers too. And they're like, why not? And then they look into it. So one client received a bribe not to say astral spiders or the scarab or black spiders. And then so she basically, she's like, no, I'm writing it. Okay, so this is where we're going to write a list. So I revoke all false, and then I put a colon or an equal sign. Identity thefts, known and unknown. So we're being really thorough in this decree. So imposters, social insurance numbers, birth certificates, false identification, thievery of identity, money, resources, timelines, digital IDs, energy siphoning from 3, 4, 5, 6D towers, attempted possessions. The wind just picked up, tossed my umbrella on my balcony. Installations, contracts, cords, vows, karmic agreements, soul ties, hooks, comes up a lot actually, energetic metal shards, SHARDS, energetic connections, and this is quite strong, so it's strong language, but remember we're wanting the deepest clearing, so energetic rape. It's very typical in 3D, unfortunately. Sexual assault, sexual interference, sexual abuse, energetic siphoning, off-planet siphoning, right? Siphoning from 4D when you're in 3D, manipulations, emotional manipulations, trauma bond, thievery, access, interference, false contracts, installations, overlays, physical contact, energetic contact, access. We'll put siphoning in again, desperation, hive mind, covert control, unworthiness, negative belief in God, source, divine presence, fear-mongering, voice blockages, body holding, personal expression, power, imposters, negative entities, Like I would consider my mom, my mother, part of the dark triad in this lifetime. In those 4 timelines, I would describe her as a negative entity. Injustice, manipulation, attempt of possession, siphoning energy, false family, false relationships, false light, false white light, love bypassing, guides, psychics, power dynamics, instilling fear, astral spiders, black spiders, voodoo dolls, VOODOO, dolls, DOLLS, pride, livestock, corruption. Like they kind of see us like livestock, like they can just electrically prod us to kind of move around and do whatever they want. Corruption, theft, DNA convolution. Convolution is CONVOLUTION, and spelling doesn't matter, but we're just being thorough. Off-planet siphoning, trauma bonds, mental traps, womb installations, reversals, guides. And remember, this is all false. So false guides, false psychics, false clones, black hole systems, trauma bonds, intrusions, irritation, destabilization, triggers, loosh, LOOSH feeding system. So loosh feeding system is like always getting you to go to fear, shame, guilt, to stay stuck and stay in very low 3D, and then they parasite kind of like your energy from that. So loosh feeding systems and then parasites. And then from the Egyptian expression timeline, the scarab attachment. So scarab, SCARAB. The scarab looked like kind of like a large beetle, and it basically attached to keep you in a karma repetition cycle. So reincarnation cycle. It's like a technology. It looks like it's like a scarab looks like a bug, or, but it's actually like a tech system that attaches usually to the solar plexus or different parts of the body. I've seen it attached in the heart. I've seen it attached in the solar plexus. It's usually the 2, sometimes the 3rd eye, so that you don't see. I've seen energetically like the black spiders being ejected out of the eye. So scarab attachments, I've seen that as soon as people are anchoring in 5D, they usually appear, they reveal, it's shown that it's there because it needs to be removed. And then archon, corruption, parasites, possessions, attempted possessions, electrical energetic prods. That's what I've seen from 4D. They kind of like the way cows are herded. They kind of like electrically, like this is energy work, right? So they're electrically prodding, you when you to spend money, to, eat more, like to drink more. Like there's always this electrical prodding to kind of keep, basically keep you in control, keep you depleted. Electric energetic fences, overlays, energy sucking tentacles. And that's what they look like as a seer, seeing them, like they look like tentacles. And then we're like, have to release them, and they leave this kind of residue, and then that all needs to get cleared out. And then to pull out the good enough thread, like I'm not good enough, You know, I have to improve. I have to be better. We're removing that thread out. And then cellular interference. And then this is all still under, I revoke all false. So false matrix systems. Insecurity. Quantum entanglements. Access. Patriarchy. And patriarchy affects men just as much as it affects women, light workers. Rage from possession. Ancient con artists. Those who play God. Humiliation. Lies on my name. Threats. Inferred permission. And then I revoke all inferred permission in all time, space, dimensions to or for any use of my identity, access to my energy, draw from my field, remain in any of my timelines, hold any claim on my body, energy, money, identity, resources, property, inheritance, and sovereignty. And then just name anything else that comes to mind. We're getting there. This is the thick of it. And then, right, they have zero claim on me. I draw a line from source and declare, enough now. It's source's turn. I send all to source. I declare injustice that is relevant to me. And it's important that it's relevant to you. And that's why I use personal examples, because that's what's meant to be a way shower and a light worker, that we're experiencing it and that we're naming it and then we're revoking it and then we're sending it to source. And then continuing with writing, I do not consent to all identity thefts, money thefts, material thefts, possessions, relationships, attempted soul possessions, humiliations, gossip, lies in my name. If you're a light worker, you've had a lot of lies on your name. It's not funny, but it's like, it's so typical. You know, when you see so many people in sessions and then it's just rinse and repeat. You know, they have no creativity, the dark triad. I eject identity thefts, money thefts, material thefts, body thefts, lies in my name in all time, space, dimensions. I do not consent. Inferred consent is not consent. Or any known or unknown consent that would require a lawyer for explanation of the full picture is not consent. I do not give consent to these kinds of experiences. And now we're going to write who we sever cords to. Okay, so that can be family members, it can be exes, it can be bosses, it can be anybody that has made your life so difficult and confusing are usually part of the dark triad, and they're placed there on purpose. So I sever cords to, and then I put a colon or equals, and then name the people causing obstruction. So you can name the dark triad. We can name the psychopath, sociopath, narcissist without naming them individually. So I sever cords too, and this is all under the list. Soul possession, archons, reptilians, Draco-reptilians, Anunnaki, Annunaki, they interfere from 4D. Yaldabaoth, Yaldabouj. He's the 3D ruler, known and unknown. So he actually just sees that he's like the blind ruler, they called him, because he thinks there is no source. He thinks it's it. Another thing that has come through sessions is called Lucifer and his army. And that's usually like Hollywood, music, Hollywood, glamour, like the Instagram. Like, I'm traveling all over the world and I don't have a job. And I'm staying at luxury places. So Apple, iCloud, tech, and AI. Microsoft. And then name any people that have created pain, confusion, or obstruction or obstacles in your life. And then name the people until you feel complete. And then I usually put their name, and then if you have their birth date, I'll add their birth date in as well. But you don't have to, or just the year if you know it. I demand the full balance of all transactions, money spent, and time invested. I demand reciprocity for this injustice from source, and all is sent to source and then to sender. And then we're going to do another list. I eject, EJECT, and then a colon or equals. I eject these attacks, soul possession attempts, false white light, karmic loop trickery, identity thefts, and all of the above. Named out of my life in all time, space, dimensions, and are all sent to source, then sender. And from source, I reclaim and demand. Source does like it when we put our foot down, when we stop wanting, when we stop being used, and we see the trickery, and then we're naming it. So from source, I reclaim and demand, colon, the balance of these transactions. I demand only reciprocity of these injustices in all time, space, energy, and losses. Just doing some energy clearing. I choose the royal path with source. And with royalty comes conviction in service to source through the heart. That's true royal service, not like what we've been told, what the royals are in 3D. So it's in service to God through the heart and source, and service to divine presence through the heart. And if you're not comfortable using the word God, because of course, it's been very convoluted in 3D, then connecting to source or divine presence. Okay, and then we're continuing writing. My full heart, all energy given, all time given, all innocence taken, all loyalty extended, all hope invested. My trust, my vulnerability, my heart, my dignity, my power. I reclaim my power. I reclaim my energy. I reclaim my source-appointed inner and outer divine guidance. I reclaim my complete and total freedom in all time, space, dimensions. Source mirroring source. Good. I was patient. I gave chances. I am complete. And keep naming what you reclaim if there's more. Okay, make this personal to you. And then continuing on, all chords, and then a colon or equal sign, all chords, C-O-R-D-S. All chords are severed, dissolved, and nullified across all timelines, meaning, and you don't have to write this down, past, present, future, all dimensions, 3D to 9D and beyond, and then all incarnations, earth and elsewhere. And then continuing writing, good job. Maybe have something to drink. Okay, so updated in the records as named if only source aligned. Updated in the Akashic records, that's your soul's complete history in timelines. So updated in the Akashic records with your higher self, only source aligned. Okay, so you can say the Akashic records, only source aligned. The Book of Life, only source aligned. It's the divine records of all souls and their contracts. So the Book of Life, so only source aligned. And then the Book of Tapestry, only source aligned. Aligned, A-L-I-G-N-E-D. Okay, so the Book of Tapestry, so updated and protected. You don't have to write this down, but that's updated and protected. This is in the Egyptian expression timeline with Priestess Maat, M-A-A-T, with the heart and the feather. Okay, and Anubis or Anu, A-N-U, or Anubis, A-N-U-B-I-S, and Amput, A-N-P-U-T, in the Egyptian tradition expression timeline were the ones that enacted the law, which was Maat. And the law was the feather and the heart. And so you can't go in the higher dimensions without having your heart weighed, basically. And then the cosmic records, only source aligned. And that's recorded by Thoth in the Egyptian tradition expression timeline. So you don't have to write that, but just the cosmic records with Thoth, only source aligned. And I've found has become really powerful in people's sessions, is naming Thoth and having those records updated. This severance is final and irreversible, only source aligned. I reclaim this body is source, moving through this sovereign instrument of the embodied being on earth in a 3D body. I am complete. I am free. I am sovereign and only source aligned. This severance is permanent and final in source's name. I thank my team, the all of only source aligned, my higher self, only source aligned, for witnessing and protecting this identity theft decree. Thank you for your devotion, help, love, protection, and support. I claim this identity theft decree. In source's name. So it is declared. So it is done. It is irreversible. That's a good one. It is irreversible with unconditional love in the name of grace under the law of one. It is sealed in source's name. It is sealed in source's name. And this line, client has gotten a bribe. I am not of their realm, meaning I am not of the 3D realm, the loose system. And this realm has no claim on what I am. So it's sealed in source's name, just going back, it's sealed in source's name. I'm not of their realm, and this realm has no claim on what I am. And so be it, it is done, claimed, sovereign, no vacancy. And then signed in sovereignty, almost done. Signed in, so of the writing part, signed in sovereignty, your full name, today's full date, and your signature, and your sigil if you have one. Sigil is like a representation, like a drawing. Oh, I have mine somewhere, but I'm not going to find it right now. Okay, good. So there's your piece of paper written on both sides. Okay. And now we're going to read it out loud 3 times before burning. And notice how your breathing is feeling, how your body is feeling. If you feel tired when you're reading, I mean, when you're reading it out loud, when you're speaking it out loud, you know, how are your body sensations as you move forward? And yes, it needs to be read 3 times. Okay, and then once you're done, you're going to fold it 3 times. So once you finish it, so pause the video, so read it 3 times, and then you're going to fold it 3 times. So the first fold seals your identity, the second fold seals your sovereignty, and this third fold seals your frequency. Okay, and then safe preparation for the decree, burning the paper. Okay, so in the kitchen, burn it safely in a pot. Keep in mind that you're collecting the ashes, putting salt on them. My sea salt, Vancouver Island. And then you're going to flush them down the toilet. And just keep making sure all the ashes burn, and use your discernment, follow your intuition and your gut instincts, okay? It's really important. And then really check, because they're like little stinkers, you know, they like to come fly out of the pot, the ashes, or, you know, stay on the toilet instead of getting flushed down. Or you flush the toilet and it's just ashes from one piece of paper or 2. And anyways, it's so interesting what happens. You know, always let me know how it goes. I always love to hear the stories of that, you know, the burning of the piece of paper, and it's not so simple. All right, take care, and we'll see you in the next chapter.